$1,000. No hotel room, no flight, no weekend away. Just a table, a white napkin, and a bill that reads like a down payment. Chicago has been running this game quietly for 20 years. While New York took the covers and the reputation, this city built something colder, sharper, and by every serious measure, better. The only 3-star Michelin restaurant in the entire Midwest, the only brewery on Earth a Michelin inspector ever bothered to write down, and one establishment where the final course gets detonated directly onto the table. That is not a metaphor. These are Illinois' most expensive restaurants, not ranked by price alone, but by what compels a person to open their wallet that wide and walk out without regret.
Restaurant 5, Moody Tongue, South Loop. Tasting menu, $155 per person. Beer pairing, $45 additional. Every other establishment on this list operates within a framework you already understand. Moody Tongue does not. The dining room stands above an operational brewery floor. You eat in a room with the ambient presence, sound, faint scent, the weight of the process of actual fermentation happening directly beneath your feet. There is no other dining experience in the country that occupies this particular space. $155 for the tasting menu, $45 for the beer pairing, $200 total. That's $25 per bite across an 8-course meal. The most prohibitive beer you will ever be handed, and for most people in this room, on this particular night, the least expensive thing they have purchased all week. Brewmaster Jared Raubin trained as a chef before he learned to brew. That sequence produced something that had never existed before he built it. A brewery where the beer is designed around the food, not the other way around. A Pilsner engineered to pair with Hokkaido scallop. A sour framboise calibrated for the dessert course. The kitchen and the brewery are not 2 departments, they are one operation with 2 outputs. In 2021, the Michelin Guide awarded Moody Tongue 2 stars, the first brewery in the history of the guide to receive any recognition at all. It currently holds 1 star. In April 2025, the establishment restructured its menu. 8 courses, $155 per person, beer pairing, $45 additional. The most accessible entry on this list. Also, unambiguously, the most singular. There is no comparison, no category, no other establishment that occupies the same coordinates on any map of world dining. In a city this competitive, that is the hardest sentence to write honestly about anything. 1 unmarked door. A freight elevator that stays still. A table you eat dessert off of with a blowtorch. The only brewery a Michelin inspector ever starred. The only 3-star kitchen between New York and Los Angeles. Chicago did not build this for applause. It built it because the people inside these rooms demanded it and kept coming back until the city had no choice but to deliver. The bill, when it arrives, is not the point. The point is what happened before it. At what price does a meal stop being food and start being art? Is $1,000 the limit or just the beginning? Tell me in the comments, what is the most you've ever spent on a single night out, and was it worth it?
4. Maple and Ash, Gold Coast. I don't give a fuck menu, $200 per person. Wagyu Experience, $265. Full dinner for 2, $400 to $600. The room smells like expensive perfume and charred oak. This is the kind of place where deals are closed and marriages are toasted before the appetizers even arrive. Every night operates at the frequency of people who have decided that tonight the number on the bill is not the point. There is a menu item here called I don't give a fuck. For $200 per person, the kitchen sends out whatever it chooses. You provide no input, no preferences, no guidance. The establishment decides. This item is wildly popular, which tells you everything about the clientele before you have tasted a single thing. The Wagyu Experience, a full progression of premium Japanese beef selections, runs $265 per person. A Saturday night for 2 with wine from the serious portion of the 5,000 bottle list that Wine Spectator named one of America's best will clear $600 before the tax closes the gap. 2 Michelin star chef Danny Grant replaced the conventional steakhouse kitchen with a wood-fired hearth. and replaced the mahogany and silence atmosphere of the traditional steakhouse with dark leather, real candelabras, and music that belongs in a room where decisions are made. 14 varieties of dry-aged steak on any given night. The fire-roasted seafood tower, lobster tail, scallops, manila clams, king crab, roasted in the hearth, served in garlic butter and chili oil with house-made pasta, is the dish that gets ordered by every table that watches it arrive at someone else's table first. That is not an accident of the menu. That is engineering. Some establishments are places to eat. Others are rooms built to make you feel like you are exactly where you are supposed to be, doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing. Maple and Ash is the second kind.
3. Oriole, West Loop, $325 per person. Wine pairings, $195 to $350 additional. You will not find Oriole by accident. The establishment stands on a street that functions more like an alley. No signage, a gray door. You check in, you step into a freight elevator that does not move, the doors open on the other side, and you are standing inside a converted warehouse, an open kitchen directly ahead, a ceiling covered in concert posters above, and a room full of people completely, silently focused on what is in front of them. The entrance is a misdirection. What follows is anything but. $325 per person. Wine pairing up to $350 additional. Dinner for two, fully committed, lands north of $1,300 before tax. And you booked this reservation 90 days ago, the exact moment the calendar opened, because the seats were gone in minutes. Chef Noah Sandoval named this establishment after his son, born with a serious heart condition. That fact is not decoration. It is the reason the kitchen runs with the precision of people who understand that nothing is guaranteed and everything on the plate must justify its presence. The James Beard Foundation named Sandoval Best Chef in the Great Lakes region in 2025. 2 Michelin stars since opening in 2016. Not a single bad year. The capellini with black truffle, pasta made with caraway, dressed with Parmesan, finished with truffle shaved tableside, has been written about more than almost any single dish in Chicago. It is not innovative in the theatrical sense. It is perfect in a way that theater cannot always reach. A host greets you outside before you enter. A welcome drink waits inside. The courses arrive at exactly the moment you are ready, which is itself a form of craft most establishments never master. Oriole also offers an overnight stay, the loft above the restaurant, for the people who need the night to extend into morning. Some establishments earn that particular request. Oriole is one of them.
2. Smythe, West Loop, $420 per person. Chef's menu, $550. Wine pairings up to $475 additional. If Alinea is the laboratory, Smythe is the field. No tablecloths, exposed brick, wooden tables worn at the edges. The room does not announce itself. It does not need to. What happens in the kitchen every night is announcement enough. The base tasting menu is $420 per person. The extended chef's menu runs $550. The serious wine pairing adds $475 on top of that. Dinner for two at Smythe, fully committed, clears $2,000 before the city of Chicago collects its share. That is not a special occasion. That is a semester's worth of decisions compressed into a single evening, and the reservation is still difficult to get. Chefs John Shields and Karen Yuri Shields run a kitchen built on one relentless principle. The menu changes every day, not seasonally, every day. Shields sources from farmers and foragers at the absolute peak of what each season allows, and the results are not combinations you could have predicted from the ingredient list. A kelp tart filled with English pea butter and trout roe. A foie gras donut set with egg yolk fudge and shredded Dungeness crab. A goat yogurt sorbet with woodruff granita. These are dishes you cannot describe to someone who wasn't there and have them believe you. In 2025, the Michelin Guide awarded Smythe 3 stars, the only 3-star Michelin establishment in the entire Midwest, one of 14 in the country. There are approximately 750,000 restaurants operating in the United States right now. Smythe is one of 14. People pay $2,000 for dinner here for one reason.
There is nowhere else within 1,000 miles where this particular thing exists. Scarcity is not a side effect of excellence. At Smythe, scarcity is the product.
1. Alinea, Lincoln Park. $365 to $495 per person, before wine, before tax. The door is unmarked. The building looks residential. Brownstone, quiet street, Lincoln Park in the dark. Nothing on the outside tells you what is happening inside. That is the first act of the performance. And at Alinea, the performance never stops. Grant Achatz opened this establishment on May 4, 2005. He named it after a typographical symbol meaning the beginning of a new thought. What he built was not a refinement of American fine dining, it was a demolition of it. Methodical, obsessive, and carried out with the precision of someone who had been planning it for years. You are not just eating here. You are watching a performance where the chefs are the actors, the kitchen is the stage, and every course is a scene rehearsed 1,000 times that will never happen exactly this way again. The gallery tasting menu runs $365 to $495 per person, before wine, before tax. A full evening, 2 people, the gallery menu, the wine pairing, clears $1,500 without difficulty. That is a mortgage installment in some zip codes, a used car in others. In Lincoln Park on a Wednesday night, it is simply dinner. The edible helium balloon is a legendary artifact. Green apple taffy, inflated, floating above the plate, engineered to make a grown adult laugh before they bite through it. Justin Timberlake ate one and couldn't stop talking about it for weeks. Then comes hot potato, cold potato. A cold cube of potato suspended on a pin above a bowl of truffle soup. Pull the pin, the cube drops, you have 4 seconds before the temperatures equalize and the entire reason the dish exists disappears. No second chances, 4 seconds. And then the dessert. A server approaches with squeeze bottles, a blowtorch, and controlled destruction. Dark chocolate, butter pecan, edible glitter applied directly onto the bare table surface in front of you. You eat it off the table, not a plate. The table itself is the vessel, the canvas, the final statement. For 14 years, the Michelin Guide gave Alinea 3 stars, one of only 14 restaurants in the United States to ever hold that designation. In November 2025, they reduced it to 2. Achatz responded with the weight of a man who built the room and knows every brick in it. For 20 years, Alinea has been devoted to pushing creativity, rigor, and the pursuit of perfection. That commitment remains as unwavering today as it was on day 1. 2 stars. Still the most technically obsessive establishment in Illinois, still the most prohibitive, still the only place on earth where this particular version of dinner exists.